Over the years, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has cemented himself as one of Hollywood's most bankable stars. Known for his charm, physicality, and larger-than-life persona, Johnson has headlined countless blockbusters. However, critics often lament his reliance on familiar archetypes, the invincible hero with a sly sense of humor. While entertaining, this repetition has overshadowed his ability to showcase true range as an actor. But more than a decade ago, Johnson broke free from that mold in Pain and Gain, a darkly comedic crime thriller directed by Michael Bay. Released in 2013 and based on a true story, Pain and Gain offered Johnson one of the most layered and nuanced roles of his career. Despite its modest box office success, the film and Johnson's performance remain underappreciated, standing out as a testament to what he can achieve when he steps out of his comfort zone. Paul Doyle, a role unlike any other. In Pain and Gain, Johnson plays Paul Doyle, a fictionalized amalgamation of real-life criminals. Doyle is a reformed addict and a devoted Christian who becomes entangled in a series of kidnapping and extortion schemes spearheaded by Daniel Lugo, Mark Wahlberg, and Adrian Doorball, Anthony Mackie. As the muscle of the group, Doyle is the largest but also the least intelligent member, embodying a mix of physical intimidation and emotional vulnerability. Far removed from Johnson's usual roles as larger-than-life heroes, Doyle is tragically human. He's gullible, morally conflicted, and often pitiable, a far cry from the invincible characters Johnson typically portrays. What's more, Johnson injects Doyle with an unexpected emotional core. Beneath the character's comedic buffoonery lies genuine remorse and a longing for redemption, qualities that ground the film's satirical tone. Michael Bay's persuasive pitch. Interestingly, Johnson initially hesitated to take on the role, backing out a week before filming began. It took a heartfelt letter from director Michael Bay to convince him otherwise. Bay described Doyle as the heart of the movie and urged Johnson to embrace the character's imperfections. This gamble paid off. Johnson's portrayal added depth to a film that could have easily been reduced to outlandish spectacle. Johnson's willingness to be the butt of the joke in Pain and Gain shows a self-awareness that has been absent from many of his later performances. The Rock, as a persona, is defined by confidence and charisma. Doyle, on the other hand, is awkward and clumsy, often failing to comprehend the moral consequences of his actions. This stark contrast made for one of Johnson's most dynamic performances. The subversive genius of Pain and Gain. Much like Johnson's role, Pain and Gain itself is an outlier in Michael Bay's filmography. Known for explosive blockbusters like Transformers and Bad Boys, Bay took a more grounded approach here, while still embracing his trademark excess. The film's satirical critique of the American dream, intertwined with its dark humor, elevated Pain and Gain beyond typical true crime dramas. Bay portrayed the Sun Gym gang as bumbling idiots driven by greed and delusions of grandeur. Unlike many true crime films that glamorize their antiheroes, Pain and Gain depicts its characters with scorn. Lugo and his team are not tragic geniuses, but foolish criminals whose actions have devastating consequences. At the same time, Bay used the film's excess to comment on America's obsession with materialism and self-aggrandizement. It's a satire that rewards those who look beyond its glossy, over-the-top exterior, a deeper critique that is often overlooked by casual viewers. Why Pain and Gain matters today. 12 years after its release, Pain and Gain remains an underrated gem, both in Michael Bay's catalog and in Dwayne Johnson's career. For Johnson, the film represents a fleeting moment when he pushed his boundaries as an actor. While he has since returned to his tried-and-true formula, Pain and Gain serves as a reminder of his untapped potential. With upcoming projects like The Smashing Machine, there's hope that Johnson will revisit roles as daring as Paul Doyle. Audiences have already seen his charisma and physicality. Now it's time for him to embrace vulnerability and risk once again. In hindsight, Pain and Gain was not just a bold departure for Johnson, it was a challenge to the status quo of his career. As audiences and critics continue to reassess his body of work, this darkly comedic gem may finally get the recognition it deserves.